Tough times don't last, only tough people do. The 3rd of September, friends, mental toughness for entrepreneurs. All team members that are serious, book your spot, be there. It's even open for all entrepreneurs that understands the worth and the merit in building the mental muscle for the purpose of success. See you there? And trust when I say Dr. Cummings, he's going to stretch the mental muscle. He's going to stretch the mind.
Blessings, everyone. Hey.
Blessings, sir. Morning.
Hey, quiet, man. What's up?
Good
good morning. All right, folks in the house. Good to have you on this morning. All right. I think Monday we were not able to come on. I was like down in the trenches. All right. How things on your side, Keeshon?
Hectic. Every day is a lot of work right now.
All right. I know you all pumping bankers, hoopers.
Yeah.
Doing good so far. All right. Were you all Sunday? Sunday which part?
Just Sunday we were in Sinclair, so we had like a full weekend.
Right.
Saturday we were in Saparia, then Sinclair, and then Monday we went Pleasantville, so it was back to back.
Wow. That's good. So as I look at the clips and thing, all right, and I'm seeing good success taking place. People are coming on. Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So good morning, folks. Welcome to the Morning Breakfast Brew with Ian and Keeshon. We are here again, just giving you some principles and teachings and concepts on personal development in the area of faith and finance. All right. I see Suriname is in the house. Arima is in the house. All right. And Carolina is in the house. So good to have you on, folks. This morning, which is Wednesday and Friday, we want to focus basically more on the workshop that we have coming up on the 3rd of this month, which is Sunday coming. And we're going to be in the Diego Martin Community Center. I think I hear someone saying the east side, west side.
South. Diego Martin Community Center, South.
All right, Diego Martin Community Center, South. All right, so we're going to be talking about that this morning. We're going to be talking about basically in terms of business, all right? And those of you who are entrepreneurs and those of you who have probably thinking about starting a business, you're thinking about getting into business, you're wondering, asking questions in terms of why your business is not moving, what are some of the things that you need to know. And I think that you hear us talking about this a lot on this platform, about working on yourself, developing yourself, building the areas of your life where you need to grow. And I think that's basically one of the most important aspect of being an entrepreneur in terms of you becoming the person. All right. I think when I was in Suriname, I did a workshop on I think it's entrepreneurship. I did a workshop on that. It was really awesome. All right, because we had some business people coming together and some young folks coming together who have now started a business in that old forum. You know, Keeshon, what I like about the in-house, the workshop, I think the interactiveness and the feedbacks, and you're able to, I think it's really real, more hands-on and thing, and you get more out of it. All right. So those of you who are on, all right, we're going to share some stuff. I think let me just run this here.
Tough times don't last, only tough people do. The 3rd of September, friends, mental toughness for entrepreneurs. All team members that are serious, book your spot, be there. It's even open for all entrepreneurs that understands the worth and the merit in building the mental muscle for the purpose of success. See you there? And trust when I say Dr. Cummings, he's going to stretch the mental muscle. He's going to stretch the mind.
Some of the folks in Suriname want to be part of this. All right, so let's. I think this morning, Keeshon, I just want to just chat a little bit about those individuals who are in business, like some of these steps to avoid mistakes, the frequent mistakes. No, you can't. Mistakes is necessary. All right, I know somebody tell me here, avoid mistakes. They may think that. All right, but the mistakes is necessary. But there are some things that you can avoid.
Correct.
All right, because you don't want to really spend too much of time wasting time, money, energy, and effort. You really want to avoid those things. Okay, so we want to touch about 10 points on that this morning so that you really can hear. Hey, awesome. Good to have you on. Mala is on. Lila is on. Good to have you on, folks, this morning. We're talking about this morning in terms of mistakes or steps to avoid the frequent mistakes made by entrepreneurs. All right, which is part of the whole process, because there are some things you really cannot avoid. There are some things that is necessary.
Right.
I think you can avoid it, but you're not going to learn. You're not going to learn much from it. All right. So we're going to touch 10 mistakes you should avoid when starting a new business.
Okay.
All right. Before we jump into that, Keeshon, you want to just highlight anything on that point?
Well,
on entrepreneurs and
you say I'll be here in the list. And where I sit, my mentors in the past in this piece will say, go right ahead and feel. So this
right ahead and feel.
For me too. I'll be a student here.
All right. I think going ahead and feel is good, and which is part of the process.
Yeah.
But I think one of the key components in that is that you got to learn the process.
Yeah.
Because failure is one thing, but now what did you learn?
Correct.
Right? As a result of the mistakes, and remember, it could be money mistakes, it could be decision mistakes, but you will lose money, you lose time, you lose energy. You waste a lot of things. All right. So you look back and you say, wow, I so much money gone. But then you dress back and you ask yourself, what did you learn?
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Because these are learning experiences that you will have, which is going to prepare you for the next step going forward, or for the next transaction going forward, or the next opportunity. And you know, one thing I noticed with these things in Keeshon, sometimes you may lose in this one, and you may think that, I lost so much money, but really this year was preparing you for this year.
Yeah.
Right. And if you get caught up in just the mistake or the money, and you put yourself in a place next year or next month when that next opportunity come, so that you can apply what you learned from the past one, that's where the problem comes in. All right. So the first mistake, because we're talking about 10 mistakes to avoid when starting a new business.
Yeah.
Okay. The first one is management mistakes. That's number one. Management mistakes. Because sometimes we jump into stuff, and I think the need and the focus and the preparation in terms of the managerial aspect of it, I honestly believe that a lot of individuals sometimes they don't take that time to go into that aspect. All right. Now, and I'm saying this from the point of the money sometimes is not the problem, but it's the managing of it is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay. In this way, where we spoke about the 4 M's of money, make it, multiply it, manage it, and master it. Okay. Then the managing of it is important, because you may be able to make it, but can you manage it? All right. Yeah. So you start in a business. All right. Try to avoid management mistakes. Now, remember, I said try to avoid as much as possible, because there are some mistakes that you're going to avoid, because you need to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
All right. You need to make those mistakes. Right. So management mistakes, you get a manager. I think in the 5G that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, we touch on that in terms of the 5Gs that you have in starting a business, the goal, the group, the game plan. All right. So that group of people you have around you, in that gotta be a manager. All right. Yeah. Structuring the steps going forward. All right. The details going forward to manage the different aspect of the business. And then I think in that 5G, we have the government, which sometimes when we talk about it, sometimes it's overlooked. But the government is the overseer of the whole business, and that's where managing is going to come into play. Now, for those of you may tell yourself, well, if you if you're not a good manager, all right, that's okay in the process. But you connect, or you have people in terms of the support table around you for the group, that somebody could be a manager, which means highlighting and identifying your manager going
Yeah.
forward is important. All right. And I think that thing. Any take on that?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because as you rightfully say, right, management, and one, every dollar that you earn in business, practically your job is to manage it. Even when you're multiplying it, is showcasing how well you manage.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to you and Miles, and you all were highlighting that, God allowed us to be managers of the earth. I mean, every single thing that we
Yeah.
in charge of is practically management. So that's like the epitome of success.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is. It
Yeah,
is. It is. Even as you mentioned that there, it's taken in Genesis, in the inception of when he placed him in the garden. The first thing man was, he's a manager,
yeah, yeah,
right? So he had to manage. So God entrusted him with that, but he had the responsibility to manage the garden,
correct.
water it, all that stuff, and he had to take care of that. And then from that, it went to the different aspect of it. But that management aspect, so man is really a manager, all right? He's a manager. So number two, the next point I have here is lack of experience.
Okay.
All right. Remember, we deal with mistakes to avoid when
Yeah,
starting the business. Lack of experience. All right. Now remember, if you start in that, this is why Keeshon, the mistakes aspect or going through stuff is part of you getting experience. All right. And I think one of the, like I was telling a class recently, he said you approach it from the place of you are learning, you are getting experiences. All right.
yeah,
There are things that you need to know. There are things you need to learn. All right. Sometimes you start a business, and if you sometimes you talk to individuals, really every one of them made mistakes. All right. Sometimes you see the business, but if you talk to the person, that wasn't the first business they started. All
yeah,
right.
correct.
And I think let me ask you this question, Keeshon. Where you are now, how many businesses that you have started or went through before you reach where you are?
Couple well. It was a stepping stone to here, and
Yeah.
course, like one of my mentors, a guy who would have made a lot of money in the space in my industry.
Yeah.
He said for his first five years, he made only $500 a month, and then, from the sixth, seventh year is when he got his breakthrough and he started earning millions of dollars. He said what he did though is he did realize that the first 5 to 6 years he practically paid the price through learning, gaining an
Wow.
experience, and
Wow.
then in the seventh year he actually collected the pay for the first 5 to 6.
Wow. 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 That is amazing. That's amazing there. All
Yeah,
right. So the 5 years wasn't wasted years.
no,
And Keishore, that is what I was trying to get into the mind of individuals. Because most of the time, I'm saying this, most of the time an individual will think that nothing is happening.
yeah, yeah,
All right. You're not making the money, and it's stressed out. All right. This is why even in part of the entrepreneur workshop I did, I said to folks, all right, when you're going into a business, one of the things you have to look into is to, especially if you're leaving one business to go into another business, or you're
yeah,
leaving your job, your job, to go into a business. One of the questions I asked is that can you survive, or can you live or be sustained for 6 months without the present business financing you or paying your bills?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So going into, so there are individuals who they want to leave their job, they get excited, all right, 9 to 5, 8 to 5,
mm-hmm.
and they want to jump into your business, into this new business. All right. So what we dealt with is asking yourself certain questions. All right. And one of it is that can you be sustained? Do you have enough resources or finance to sustain you for 6 months
Yeah,
or sometime a year when you start this new business? Because most of the time, the business that you start is not able to pay you.
Correct.
pay your bills and pay your stuff to sustain you. So
Yeah.
that is one of the key things that you have to take into consideration when you jumping in. All right,
Exactly.
put things in place. I have
Yeah.
talked to individuals who excited that, like for instance, in church wise, who they're in a job, government job, all that stuff and things. And sometimes when they hear a talk or a speech, they were excited to leave that job and to start a business. But
Yeah.
then when you sit together, I begin to ask them really, really tough questions. All right. And consider like a couple last month someone was applauding me for the conversation we had because they wanted to just leave that job and go into ministry and go into full time. And
Yeah.
I began to ask them some serious questions. All right. You're leaving your job that's paying you 15,000 a month because you said God spoke to you and God said go into ministry.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's talk. Let's question what God said to you. Because
Yeah.
I'm not saying God didn't say that to you. But the question now is sometimes God will say something now to you now, Keeshon, but it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean you have to do it now.
Correct.
Right? So which means now he's speaking to you now, but guess what? Is that you will prepare for that time for when it comes. So I begin
Yeah.
to speak to the individual about putting things in place. All right, to leave. So give yourself, for instance, a 2 year or 3 year, and you begin to structure things in place. So when you go into that ministry, you go into that new business, you will not be dependent on what comes in. So you will be able to be sustained for at least a year or two before the
Exactly.
business itself starts to bring in the resources that you need.
Exactly.
All right. And if individuals don't take these things into consideration, most of the times when they jump into you leave your job, the business didn't work, the ministry didn't work, and now you're choking and you're frustrated.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So lack of experience. So make sure. So these mistakes will bring you to a place of getting the experience that you need.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I love what you say about your mentor. That is really, really profound, Keeshon.
Yeah.
The whole 5 years. It wasn't wasted years.
Yeah.
And this is what we try to tell
Toughest
people.
years for people though, because when they're not making money, they equate it to nothing, as you say. But that's not
Oh,
that's not true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's the learning.
Exactly.
It's the learning aspect that is important. We want to stress that again. So you're not making money, but you're learning.
Correct.
Right? You're learning. Okay, so that's the first. So management mistakes, avoid that. Lack of experience. Okay, you're going into because remember it's your first time. Lack of experience, so you want to be able to connect with people. You want to be able to do your homework. You want to be able to probably take courses, put yourself in position, put yourself around people, follow
Yeah.
individuals who doing the same business. Sit down, have meeting with them, question them, and sometimes, most of the time, these individuals, Keeshon, are really excited to tell you.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Correct.
yeah. Because sometimes for most of them, no one really come to them and ask them, um, how did you start a business? What are some of the do's and don'ts, and what are the things to avoid? Oh, so
Yeah.
sometimes a lot of these individuals, I've learned that for myself, are excited to share from where they
Definitely.
are to the next
Definitely.
generation, right? So the
Yeah.
experience. Then the third one now is poor financial control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Poor financial control. All right, for those of you who just jump on, I know folks are in and out. All right, but it's going to be up so you can take a look at it. These are 10 mistakes you should avoid when starting a new business. All right, and also we also focusing also on this Sunday. We're going to be in the Martin Community Center. We're going to be at 6 p.m. where we'll have that workshop on mental toughness for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
We're gonna have record sessions, discussions. I think it's a place that those of you is a place that you need to be in that session. It's really, really. This is the morning breakfast group first workshop and first breakout session, and we're excited to have you be part of this for some real deep discussion and also
Yeah.
some learning. All right. So the third one is poor financial control. Woo! Poor financial control. Right now, folks, I'm saying this, and I don't say Keeshon, you have to be real to yourself.
Correct.
All right, real to yourself. If you're poor in managing money, all right, you have to come to terms to that in the earlies. Okay, You could begin to learn the skill set needed. You could begin to have somebody around you, and you put that into in terms of you put that aspect, that focus into their hands. All right, because I'm telling you, this could be an expensive mistake.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what are your thoughts on that, Kish?
Well, I mean, I've seen many persons falter right here. You know, even myself when I just started,
Yeah.
because a lot of people, especially entrepreneurs, when they start for the first time, they confuse income for profit. You know, and as as you're learning business, income and profit is two different things.
Yeah.
You could set up a business, for example. A matter of fact, the stats highlight that a legitimate business, Fortune 500 business,
Yeah.
it takes 5 years to make their first dollar profit. Now, that doesn't mean you're not receiving income every day, every week, or every fortnight. You may receive in hundreds of thousands, even many
Yeah.
millions.
Mhm.
But most times that just goes towards the investment to set up the business in the first place.
Wow.
So a lot of people come into entrepreneurship and they see a lot of money coming to them if they are successful at making the money.
Mhm.
But in managing it, you know, you have to demarcate the difference between income and profit, because sometimes income does not equate to profit and you have to push it right back into the business.
Mm.
So yeah, that's a big gap there when you're about to learn.
What I'm getting out of this, Keeshon, I think I'm telling you there. I think the need to learn, you need to educate yourself, you need to
Yeah.
get the knowledge. All right, and a lot of individuals uh, don't have the knowledge. You're excited because, again, making the money,
Yeah.
right? So you go, and I think that's where you get a lot of problems there. And I think sifting out that whole mindset and expectation is really, really critical.
For sure.
Really, really critical. All right. Poor financial control. Right. This is also could cost you a lot. So it's not that you cannot learn what you need to learn in this area here. Right. Again, books, courses, connect with people at this level. All right. But avoid this mistake, poor financial control.
Correct.
All right. Put peace around you. This is my thing on this. All right. Have people around you in terms of accountability. Okay. I always tell people, find out always who's the maker, who's the manager, who's the multiplier. We do this with husband and wife,
Yeah.
find out who is the maker. All right. Who's the manager? All right. Statistics will tell you most of the time women are good managers when
Right.
it comes to finance. All right. So you want to identify that. So if you're the maker, keep making it. The problem is when you have a maker want to manage.
Yeah.
All right. And they manage it. They want to manage it because they're making it. But you're not a manager. You and it's that you cannot be a manager, no, in terms of managing money. But
Yeah.
at this stage right now, you have poor financial managing skills,
Yeah.
and you have to come to terms with that.
Correct.
If the person next to you or your mate, your wife, that person can manage it, you focus on making it, they focus on managing it. It's a teamwork.
Yeah.
It's really, really a teamwork. All right. So poor financial control. All right, because you want to be able to control the flow, the money that comes in, because it have to go into particular areas. It have to filter into particular areas. So
Correct.
that's why I use the word control. So you come in, you control it, set it there. All right, you set it in particular areas. All right. The next one is weak marketing efforts. I know, Keeshon, you're bigger at this.
Yeah.
Weak marketing efforts. Right. This is something that is really, really critical.
For sure.
And I see it a lot. You have a good business, you could manage money, all right. You have some experience, but guess what? You're weak in marketing. Your marketing efforts is weak. So all your product is there. You have all the structure in terms of you have your website, you have all your page, you have all the flyers. I mean, you have all the videos, everything nice. But
Yeah.
all your product is packed up in your garage. All your product is packed up in your room. All right, and it's not coming before people. It's not because you have your marketing effort is weak.
Yeah.
Keeshon, we'll just share some things on this because I know that you are man heavy on this.
Yeah, for sure. Well,
Yeah.
the first thing I tell people in business and big business is that your largest bill is marketing. And if your largest bill in business is marketing, it shows where your emphasis should lie first, especially in today's world. Today's world, we came out of the information age and now we're in the attention age.
Hmm.
So who gets attention literally gets the market, right? And remember, any business that you're in, you literally need a step in the market. Hence the reason you need to have marketing done.
Yeah.
So yeah, people need to have awareness as to who you are, what you offer, whether it be a personal service or if it's your business itself. No one is going to buy the best product they never heard about. And as you rightfully said, you could probably have the best product, but at the end of the day, it's not about having the best product. It's not about having the best service. It's about the person that has the most visibility in the market. And this is why, for example, Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc would have, Ray Kroc is the owner of McDonald's. And
Okay.
many persons was of the opinion that he was into the burger business simply because McDonald's is known for selling burgers.
Yeah.
And he told them, the truth is, I'm not in the burger business. I'm into real estate. And the major thing to note is the real estate that he owns is prime properties all around the world. As a matter of fact, he is second to only the Catholic Church in the globe, which is huge. So really and truly, it's a marketing tactic because it doesn't matter which city you're in. Whatever is the major part where persons cross, there's a McDonald's. His job is to have a McDonald's there. And that's really a marketing tactic. So he would ask, how many people can make a better burger than I can? Entire audience. How many people can make a bigger burger? Most persons. How many people could make a better looking, visible, appealing burger? Almost everybody in the audience. And then he would ask, well, why don't you make more money than me? It's not about how tasty your product is. It's not about how good it is. It's not how big it is compared to the competitor. It's not even about how good your service is compared to from a real fundamental standpoint. So marketing is the biggest bill in business for a reason, especially living in the attention age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeshon, listen to me. This, I'll tell you, this is big. I want to park you a little bit. All right. I want to park you. This is big because it's something I've been kind of stressing on because we in the Caribbean here, all right, we focus heavy on the product.
Yeah.
Content. We major in content.
Yeah.
But then you realize that, which is not bad.
Correct.
But people who will make the money, again, is the people who
Market.
get the attention.
Yeah.
And create that kind of market. So
Exactly.
you said so let's I want to take back this conversation to where you started.
Mm-hmm.
So you said two words just now, which was really, really profound. Was attention age and information age.
Yeah.
First time I hear that word.
Well, when the internet, became available to the average person, it was the introduction to the information age, meaning that for the first time in the history of the world, the average man now had access to a library of information that he did not have access to. So it was deemed the information age. So the internet literally introduced us to the information age because, again, for the first time in the history of the world, we had access. The truth is, most of the stuff that we have access to right now from our phones, smartphones, via YouTube, via Google, via any search engine website you could find online, it was not accessible. Like today, you could practically research anything and have access to all the relevant and even irrelevant information.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. So a child, 5 years old, 6 years old, 10 years old, they can literally go online and find out how to make a baby. I remember having conversations with my mom, and she was, highlighting to me back in her days, like as children, they genuinely didn't know where babies came from.
Competition going to school. Yeah, yeah. We were having this competition coming from school where babies.
Yeah. So the internet ushered in the information age, and some people aren't aware of that. It literally placed, a library of information from the internet to our fingertips. So that's
Right,
considered the information age.
right.
But we have moved away from the information age, and we have gone into the attention age using the same internet. Because now, because of the fact that they have access to so much information, because
Yeah.
they have access to so much content, and because the world generally are consumers, people they have a lot more content to consume because of the amount of information readily available. So
That's
then,
yeah.
out of 100,000 options in one industry, the person that is going to win in that industry is the person, out of all the information available, is the person that gets the most attention. Because if you're selling nuts, I can tell you there's over 100,000 persons right now globally selling nuts. But the company that's going to rise to the top of the industry is a company that could capitalize and gain in the most attention because of the fact that there's so much information.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
technology has given us the ability to have access to information, one, but not just that. Because we have access to so much information, the solution becomes a problem. The problem once was we didn't have access.
Yeah.
The next problem is because we have access and so much persons could flood the market freely with information. The problem that arrives from the solution of information is how do you capture attention? Because now whoever captures the most attention in
Yeah.
a market where there's so much information is
Right.
practically the person that starts to tap into the real market of customers. So
Wow.
that's what I mean between the information age and the attention age from a business standpoint.
Now that watch me. That is major. That is just when I say major. That is major information, and it's 100% truth because you
Mhm.
see it. But and the problem now is with individuals who getting stuck in the information age
Yeah, yeah.
because as you rightfully said, there's so much stuff coming
Coming
in.
at us.
This
Yeah,
conversation here, Keeshon, is bringing a lot of clarity to me.
yeah, yeah.
Bringing a lot of clarity. Because I've seen it with individuals who just want information, information, information.
Yeah.
Okay. But then now you have it, but guess what? You have no clients, you have no customers, you have nothing happening. All right.
Because you're not
Because
getting any attention.
you aren't getting any attention. All right. And I think this is really critically. You spoke something about visibility. You mentioned something about visibility.
Yeah, definitely. So, like for example, from where I sit, where I stand, like my team members know, I tell them social media. You need to be on social media five times minimum a day, utilizing these platforms because, again, there's so much content being produced. It's not even about quality. Again, to be honest with you, uh, yeah. So a lot of people focus on quality, but if you have one quality video and
Yeah.
your competitor has 50 videos that is not as great in quality as yours, they are gonna still get more attention than you. A matter of fact, the attention that they may get is take a look at this guy video. His quality is not that great. Even if the attention that's being drawn to you is because the quality is not that great, you're gonna sell.
Right, Keisha, listen, this is answering so much question. I'm telling you that this is I've seen it because I literally seen it. Now you answer the question in terms of why. So why that person is having more traffic or creating more finance and the content is not even that good.
It doesn't need to be. It just needs to be consistent, and you need to have a large quantity on a daily basis hitting the market, because from a sale aspect,
Yeah.
average man needs to be introduced and reintroduced a concept at least 12 to 16 times, or individual, before they really become somebody that buys into the idea, or they buy into the person. So really and truly, it's about introducing, reintroducing, and consistent introduction of your idea, of yourself, literally in the it's called, and from where governments sit, they call it propaganda. So if you take a look at
Woo!
you take a look at the American economy, if you take a look at what Hitler would have done,
Yeah,
get the people believing a certain thing, it's nothing more than having content in many different ways, streaming almost every single second, every possible time.
Wow.
And that is how you get people familiar with your brand or yourself.
Well, Keeshon, I get the message. I get the message. Folks, I hope you're on this morning. Share your comment. I know you're not quiet this morning because this is a really, really important topic that we are discussing here. All
Yeah.
right. On the mistakes you should avoid when starting a new business. I see Monique is on, Ricardo is on, all right, Peters is on, Mala is on, Lila is on. All right, share your comment. I know it's a tough, but it's really, really I'm hearing some things here. I mean Keeshon said that he is in class, but I feel I'm just flipped to be a student now. All right, no, but it's really, really this is good because it answers a lot of questions that I had.
Yeah.
All right. Because you see people posting stuff. All right. The content is not even like,
It
all
don't
right,
need
and
to be.
it don't need to be. All right,
Mhm.
and you just have one good content. You have one good content, and
Yeah.
you begin to push that. All right. I know some people will have problems with this because again, as I said before earlier, in the Caribbean, basically we are um, oriented in the sense of the quality.
Let me just add to that, right? From a raw entrepreneurial business standpoint, what I learned from a couple mentors, well, Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone. So Grant Cardone is one of the best sellers in the world, salesman, right? He wrote a book, and the book that he wrote, he sold a couple copies, well, made millions of dollars selling the book. And then after selling the book, quite a number of persons, started reaching out to him and saying, Grant, you have so many misspelled words in this book. And he was like, yeah. What's the point? He didn't get it.
Right.
That's one example
Right.
of literally having a focus on the sale and the product not even being that great based on what the consumer may think. But his emphasis was not on his spelling, grammatical ability. It was on getting a message, and he's articulating it to the best of his ability. And the truth is, he's all about the sale. He's a salesman. Then Kiyosaki.
Mhm.
Kiyosaki is highlighting to a journalist in Japan. She's one of the top journalists out in Japan, and she's trying to have success as Mr. Kiyosaki. And he said, listen, the key to what you're asking me is written on the piece of paper that you have before us. And she was like, I don't get it. He said, I recommend you go sales school. And she was a very highly educated person, and she thought, based on her speaking to him, that sales was beneath her status. And he said, listen, if you read what you just wrote about me, you would realize it says Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author. He said, I read your work. He said, I can't even write half as well as you do.
Wow.
He say, but I am a best-selling author. I'm not a best writing author. So it's understanding where the emphasis needs to go as an entrepreneur, as a business person.
Yeah.
So, many times, even when I make mistakes, I actually leave the mistakes with my spelling, and because my focus is not there.
Right.
And many persons never get to the level of comfort in themselves, one, and even clarity as to what they're doing, why they're doing it. And they focus on small things. rather than the big goal, the big vision, the big objectives.
Keeshon, this is really good, man. This. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. All right, folks, let's just run this clip again. We're gonna be in Monique. We're gonna be in your area this Sunday. Make sure and find yourself in the community center.
Tough times don't last, only tough people do. The 3rd of September, friends, mental toughness for entrepreneurs. All team members that is serious, book your spot, be there. It's even open for all entrepreneurs that understands the worth and the merit in building the mental muscle for the purpose of success. See you there? And trust when I say Dr. Cummings, he's going to stretch the mental muscle. He's going to stretch the mind.
Nice stretching. All right, I love it. So, folks, don't miss it. All right. Information. I'm gonna put some information up on the chat there. Message me if you don't have a number. Message Keeshon. All right, or you might get Keeshon. All right. Message us. All right, for the link to register. But it's gonna be amazing. All right. For those of you in Suriname, all right, we'll be coming to Suriname soon.
What's the date you're going to run up?
The 12th. The 12th. I will be in Suriname for the 12th. Yeah.
Okay. 12.
So this week I'll finalize some things with the folks across there.
No problem.
So folks, we are dealing with 10 mistakes you should avoid. Okay. Now, as I said before, you can't avoid some mistakes because there are some mistakes you need to make because it's a learning experience. There's some things you need to learn. All right. We shared some really, really great stuff. Go back and listen to this live again. I love the 5 years, all right, that you spoke about, Keeshon, with your mentee. In terms of the things that he learned for that 5 years, he didn't make any money, $500 a month, right? But after that 5 years, bam, right? So sometimes you can be quick to walk away because you are learning something. What did you learn? It's preparing you for the bigger stuff, all right? So we have management mistakes, avoid that, lack of experiences, poor financial control, and number 4, we said this was weak marketing efforts.
Yeah.
Wow. This again, Keeshon. All right. Number 5 is failure to develop a strategic and effective plan. Woo.
Yeah.
Failure. All right. To develop a strategic and effective plan, folks. Again, this is part of our training that we are sharing, not the training for Sunday, but on entrepreneurship. This is part of the training because we spoke about the 5 G's. This is why that 5 G is important. The goal, the game plan, the group, and all that stuff is really, really important. Mm-hmm. So failure to develop a strategic plan, all right, effective plan, not just a plan, but an effective plan. So what you want to do in going in, you must have a plan. What is your game plan?
Must have a plan.
You must have a plan, all right? And don't think that your plan will be all perfect because plans change, as you go forward, you make different adjustments. Because one of the things I always say in the goal settings is that getting up early in the morning, taking a 15 minutes, 10 minutes, a quiet time meditation, write over your plan, go over your plan, structure it, and you find every day it's going to shift, it's going to take form. But going into a business, you must develop a strategic, effective plan.
Yeah.
Most people fail, and I know, Keeshon, you ever check the statistics on how many business started per day, how many business fail for the month. All right, every day, thousands, even millions of business are started every day.
Yeah.
But also at the end of the month, business closed down. All right, it's up there. Check it out. I'd say that. Check it out there. All right, so you want to be able to have a plan, and you must go over your plan. Take a couple of months, right structure. All right, because when you start it, you must have develop a strategic plan, and it got to be effective. So it's number 5. All right. Number 6 is uncontrolled growth. Uncontrolled growth, and I think having a plan, having a structure in place is going to be able to deal with the uncontrolled growth. Because I was speaking to someone yesterday, all right, and they said that when they started, they didn't expect the kind of response, right, that they get. They didn't expect that, and that was one of the reasons why they had to drop back. In fact, I was in a class. I was teaching a class in Suriname, and one of the students said that they had to literally, Keeshon, step away from social media, step away, because the amount of calls and the amount of jobs they were getting, they
Correct.
couldn't handle it emotionally and mentally.
Exactly.
I mean, something that you want.
Yeah.
Get this person who started a business and getting it and had to literally step back because she couldn't handle it, and that's why
Exactly.
she didn't develop a strategic, effective plan going in, and had a
Mhm.
structure in place. We call it uncontrolled growth. All right, and you may be hearing this and you think that, hey, well, I need customers, I need growth. Look, Monique asked you what happens Sunday, Keeshon. Monique asked you what happens Sunday. Monique, all right, I will put you on blast. All right, so that is important on cultural growth. You have experienced this aspect, Keeshon, on cultural growth?
Yeah, I mean, because what people fail to realize is that you always have a problem to solve, right? We are problem solvers, and you're either coming from a problem in one or heading to one. And in business, there are two types of problems: too little or too much. But there's no in between. It's either you have too little or too much.
Right.
And many people, when they get into business, they don't have enough most times. They don't have enough customers, they don't have enough money, they don't have enough products, they don't have enough people to help them with their services. But
Yeah.
eventually, once you start having a successful model that works, you will get to the level whereby you have too much products, you have too much people, you have too much demand compared to your supply. There's even situations where you have too much inventory, too much money, and
Right.
those are all problems as well. So you either have the first problem is which is not enough,
That's
or
enough.
the problem where you actually have too much. But there's no middle grounds, and you always need to decide which problem you want. Which problem do you want to solve? Do I want to solve the problem of too little or too much? But it is in fact a problem. And I'll give you a quick example right here, Trinidad.
Yeah.
I remember when I now started, and I started to really make money. The banks had a problem with me because they weren't able to validate from where they sit where my money was coming from based on what I was doing. It didn't make sense to them.
All
So
right.
that's a problem of too much.
Wow. Wow. And somebody listening and say, too much money a problem? Nah, they can never have a problem.
There's a lot of problems associated with it.
There is. And this is why folks, again, strategic, effective plan. All right. So that you will be able to have a structure going forward. So when the inflow comes in, you will have uncontrolled growth, because uncontrolled growth is good, but if its growth is uncontrolled, it can affect you in so much different areas of your life.
Definitely.
I'm telling you, okay, you can lose product, you can lose customers, you can lose sleep, you can get stressed out, all kind of thing. Uncontrolled growth, because now it's you can't control it. Right?
Next example, like right now, based on my social media, I have between 800 to 1,500 people leaving their names and numbers on my social media. It is impractical for me to call them. So because of that, I have a system where I disseminate all the numbers to my team members according to where they're located and that type of thing. And they go through the numbers. It's impossible for me. So even if, for example, like I always tell my team members, if you get the amount of people that you want in your business, the question is, can you manage?
Can you manage? Yeah.
Because getting them is one thing, but keeping them is the next. And
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
have structures to keep the business, you're going to lose the business.
That is so, and this is why, again, Keeshon, and we keep talking about it. This is why the process is really preparing you, and
Exactly.
right. So and then also, like, remember that thing we spoke about with the steward, entrusting them, and
Yeah.
he trusts you with one, with two, with five, based on your capacity. In other words,
Exactly.
based on what you can handle. All right. And the reason why sometimes you start at this level here is because this level is preparing you for the next level, for
Hmm.
the next level. So the preparation for what to come in is really, really important. All right, Nicholas say I still prefer too much than too little. Well, everyone will prefer that, you know. All right,
Until you face it.
until you face it, until you face it, until you face it. And this again. This is why the whole preparation is critical. All right, prepare yourself because the increase. And this and next, let me say this again. This is why for many of us, God is not worried about the increase coming in.
Yeah.
You see, we worry about that. The increase is going to come, the
Correct.
overflow will come, but he is concerned what about
About you.
preparing for the increase, and you focus on the increase.
Yeah.
Because he said, no, I want you to focus on the preparation. Don't worry about the increase,
Yeah.
the overflow, the surplus, and all that stuff. It's going to come, but are you ready to handle it? If I bring it now, can you handle it?
And I mean, to add to that, let's look at leadership.
Yeah. Okay.
So in my space, it's all about you leading a next person to the promised land, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the truth is, if you are not capable of leading yourself, what about two persons who are following you during a trial in time? How about 10? How about 15? How about 50? And if you're unable to lead yourself, if you're unable to manage yourself, which is a problem actually, right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
again, you have to be able to solve that problem for you first. And only when you solve that problem for you, imagine having a group of persons that are looking at you for that problem solving skill. So you might want 1,000 persons to join your business today. You might want 10,000 people to join your business today because you're seeing the dollar signs attached to it.
Right.
But can you serve them?
Yeah. Yeah.
How about 100,000?
Facilitate them. Yeah. And you know, someone say, be careful what you ask for. Now. Are you ready for it? And this
Exactly.
is why we say also that sometimes God is in His mercy, His wisdom, His love,
Mm-hmm.
really give us what we ask for. The
Yeah,
time
it's real. It's real.
we ask for it. All right, because it might end up choking us.
Yeah.
It might end up frustrating us. You might just walk away from everything if you give your. This is why sometimes this is a good stuff. This is a good talk. Yeah? He said to Israel, "I'm going to bring you out little by little, because I'm not going to bring you out the whole 2 million one time.
Yeah.
Billy, I'm going to bring you out little by little. All right, and sometimes that makes so much sense. All right, folks, just share your takeaway. I know we have just 4 minutes, Keeshon. All right, look at this again. It's great discussion this morning. We have about we have five more mistakes to avoid. But we will touch that on Friday. But I really enjoyed this session this morning. It was really profound. Those of you on, please share your takeaway. All right, I'm going to run this clip again for Monique. I'm running this for Monique. Yeah. All right. The morning breakfast brew is going to be in the community center in Monique in Digo Martin. All right. So let's run this for Monique here.
Tough times don't last, only tough people do. The 3rd of September, friends, mental toughness for entrepreneurs. All team members that is serious, book your spot, be there. It's even open for all entrepreneurs that understands the worth and the merit in building the mental muscle for the purpose of success. See you there? And trust when I say Dr. Cummings, he's going to stretch the mental muscle. He's going to stretch the mind.
That's it, yeah. All right, so folks, let me see what the folks are saying. Great point, Keeshon. All right, service is important. Unfortunately, we also live in a country that doesn't know the importance of service. All right. Wonderful, great point, Keeshon. Wonderful. Right. All right, so folks, share your takeaway. We're about to close it for today. All right, for those of you who come on, share the link. If you haven't subscribed to the page, all right, subscribe to the page. All right, I will be there Sunday. Nicholas, I'm going to be there Sunday. Wonderful, Nicholas. All right, folks, call and register. Call the number. The link is going to be on. I'm going to send you a link. Let me just put this number here. All right. All right. All right. My number is up there, so you can message me, all right, on the WhatsApp, and I can send a link for you there. So, Keeshon, any last word before we close off?
We're growing. We're growing. Friday, we get on the next 5.
Yeah. All right, so Friday we're going to be on, folks. All right, so before you come off, tag someone, message someone, share the link with someone, leave a comment. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the page. All right, minding my business, Morning Breakfast Bro. All right, shalom, take care, love you, stay blessed, and don't ever be stressed. Take care.